Okay, I'd like to call this library board meeting to order at 9 a.m. What is today's date? April the 15th, 2026. First on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, omissions, or errors?
No.
No. Perfect. All right, so I'm looking for a mover and seconder to approve as presented, please. Moved by John, seconded by Patricia. Any questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Does anyone have a pecuniary interest they wish to declare at this time? Not seeing any hands. Minutes of the previous meeting, looking for a mover and seconder to approve our minutes from March 11th, 2026. Moved by Jane, seconded by Helena. Any questions regarding those minutes? No? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Presentations. My good friend that I haven't seen for quite a while. Katie is here to update us on technical services. Please, Katie, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you for having me today. It's been a while since I've presented to the board. Yeah, I'm Katie Shedlick. I'm a systems librarian. Go ahead. I've been with the library system since 2005. I started out as the cataloging technician, and I drove the van once a week. And then I moved up to technical services coordinator. And then in 2020, I became the systems librarian. And yeah, here I am today. I oversee the technical services team. There's four of us. We've got a cataloging technician, collections clerk, and two van drivers. My job is to oversee the systems work, which includes the Cersei Dynex products like Symphony workflows, the library software that all the branches use for day-to-day functions. And a lot of that is the back-end configuration. The back-end set up like a map of rules, basically, and it tells the system what to do when an item is checked out at the desk. So, like, how many weeks is it borrowed for, and whether it can be renewed and that sort of thing, or if a hold can be placed on it. All those little rules are set up in the back end, so I look after those things. I oversee patron and catalog record maintenance to make sure everything is going smoothly, and troubleshooting here and there. It's nice when there's breaks in the troubleshooting, which there has been, knock on wood. And I help the branch staff on how to use the various softwares. Also in the systems work is now including, with the recent changes, e-resource management. And I look after other software like Collection HQ, which is a stock management tool we use out at the branches for collection maintenance. So I've spent a lot of time writing staff manual documents, policies, plans, guidelines, and then look after the collection development. We have a collection plan. I performed the audit last year that was presented to you. And I work with the vendor on automatic release plans, letting them know for each area of the collection what we'd like to see, what our patrons are interested in. And then, yeah, collection maintenance plans. And I work with the branches on that. And like I said, training them to use the Collection HQ software so they can have their hands on the collection more. And I'm also overseeing the interlibrary loan service. So Jasmine's our cataloging technician. We're all three of us are very busy at the office every week, but Jasmine does quite a bit. She receives delivery from our vendor library bound every week, and she loads the records into the database, links new items. So she empties all the bins, checking off the invoices, and then links the item to the system. And then she monitors all the suggestions for purchase that come in through the website. The form automatically go to an email address that she monitors. And then she performs the order entry for those, and she does a great job tracking the requests. She assists with any database cleanup, or cataloging projects that we're working on, like the local history project. She was a key piece in that success. Um, and as well, it comes out for branch shelving projects. So, and she processes and catalogs any material acquired through local purchases and donations as well. And she's also looking after the day-to-day now for interlibrary loan services based on the recent changes. So, yeah. And Dana, our collections clerk, she probably handles the most volume of the three of us. She gets the van delivery prepped every morning, um, and then receives all of the bins that come back on the van at the end of the day. And she also will go out to the branches once a month to pick up bins of overflow, and then processes them. And that includes like going through, seeing what are we keeping, what aren't we, what should be shelved at admin. And then she looks after all of the items that have been weeded or discarded out of the collection, and coordinates um, distribution for book sales and Zoom Books, which is I'll be speaking about later. They are a company that we deliver like pallets of discarded material to, and they take care of it all for us, instead of throwing it all in the garbage or in the recycling bin. So, um, yeah, I think that is about it. And our van drivers, Larry and Richard, we run the van Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and we deliver everything. There's so much that goes out on that van. Just the regular collection material, but also with the growing object library, there is a lot of juggling that's involved, like the snowshoes and the telescopes. I'm glad we got some smaller telescopes. It made the drivers happy. Um, yeah, and we also do interdepartmental mail Tuesdays and Fridays, and they stop at various county offices. So, and then Richard's been a huge help with branch projects, helping us taking down shelving and putting it back together and securing things to the walls and moving furniture, and we keep him busy. This is just a few fun pictures to give you an idea of the amount of bins that we do. 300 is a very rough estimate. It could be more than that now. But yeah, we're always swimming in bins and boxes. So those two boxes on the right are a shipment. We were using Better World Books before, but now we've moved to Zoom Books because they're Canadian. So we do approximately 80 boxes. Last year we only ended up doing one shipment, but usually there's two shipments a year. Yeah. A little bit about Zoom Books. So yeah, zero waste. I think it's a good little snapshot there from one shipment. They tell us that we saved 46.3 trees. I like that.
0.3.
Yeah, 0.3. Yeah.
What size trees?
Yeah. Good question. And diverting landfill space, which I think is great. So yeah, instead of just throwing them out, they're being repurposed or sold to those, and the fundraising goes to support literacy and various initiatives, literacy focused initiatives.
Well, do you want to wait for questions after, Katie, or are you okay with a question now?
Let's do it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, shelving projects. We've had a busy couple of years. We were doing the Clinton project. So that's like tearing everything down, packing all the material up, moving it, and then once the contractors are done their end, then we go back in and put everything back up. We also did Seaforth. Summer we did Seaforth. So we basically flipped the branch. A lot of it went, the collection went upstairs. And then we went back to Clinton, where did some more there. And now we're in Hensel. Unexpectedly. So yeah, it's been a lot of hands-on work lately. Yeah, go ahead. I just included a few pictures to give you some idea of the volume. So that on the left is before Clinton on the main floor, and then that's the during. And that is after phase one. We've now completed after phase two because they came in and have painted and replaced the carpeting. So it's like a brand new branch. If you haven't been in there, it's beautiful. And that's a bit of the fourth work. That one was a major move. Um, and we learned a lot from that move, what to do and what not to do. But it looks great. That's the upstairs. You can see the labels on the shelves. What we do is we basically shelf map it. We'll go in and put tags on each shelf and then keep the second tab with the collection items. And that way we know where it goes back after the fact. So, yeah. And that's upstairs after we're done. And then the OGS collection, was it last summer? Yeah, last summer we moved it. We had it all at admin, and Jasmine did all the cataloging. She did an awesome job. And this is when we moved it in July, I believe it was, to the branch. That's the after. So yeah, upcoming projects or ongoing projects are instrument lending library, local history project, and microfilm relocation, core collection planning, and developing some of those Cersei Dynex products like the Blue Cloud Analytics and further use of the Collection HQ software. So yeah, the lending library, as it says, they reached out to us, and Beth is still working with them to work out an agreement. And we're hoping to have instruments to lend out other than our ukuleles. So, and they've been very popular, so we thought it was a good match. Local history, genealogy, and microfilm has been a big project that we've been working on the last couple of years. We started out just trying to improve the accessibility of what we have in the system, cleaning up records and trying to get anything cataloged that was sitting out at the branches that hasn't been cataloged into the system. And we worked on tagging all of these items so that they'll come up in quick searches in the online catalog, BiblioCommons. So yeah, so over 3,000 records were worked on or created, and 1,100 of those were the genealogy material, which the initial project led into. So we'd already had a system in place for the records, so we just continued that process for the OGS collection. So yeah, so we're currently, we still have two more branches to go through to check on what's sitting there uncatalogued and getting that done. And the microfilm, all but Wingham has been moved to the admin office, and I'll have to go through them all. There's a few that aren't cataloged yet. They'll be done, and then the plan is whatever is not digitized will be moved to the Seaforth branch for public use, space depending. We're still working on that. It may be delayed a little longer than we thought, just due to the current. We're still working out our workflow for the department with the recent changes, so it might have to be pushed back a little bit, but it'll be by the end of the year, I think. The microphone will be moved. Okay. And if you haven't been on our online catalog, those are the quick links there that I spoke of. So anything you click on, it'll a search list of all the items that are connected to those areas. Collection audit. So yeah, I performed it last year and it was presented. We've made purchases to address the understocked areas that the audit had indicated, and I updated and worked with the vendor on how to further develop that in what they're selecting for us. I'm currently still working on circulation reporting, sorry, Blue Cloud Analytics. It's been trickier than I thought to target subject-specific circulation statistics. So that's something that's in progress and it's on my work plan for this year. And planning out core collections for the branches, which may also be delayed due to the recent changes. But yeah, targets are going to be updated with the new census data release, which I have a feeling is this year. Yeah. The next we'll perform the audit again in 2027 and then every 2 years. And that's all that I have for today.
All right. Well, thank you. There's a lot of information and you're busy. I was gonna ask you if I ever move, would you help me move? Right? I know Helena has a question or comment.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, this is a tremendous amount of work. And actually, I have two questions. With the Zoom books, is it possible for the general public to give discarded books that can go with your shipment to Zoom books?
Well, we have quite a bit of volume and a little bit of storage space. So I don't really encourage that at this time. Maybe if we get to a point where we've cleared out our discard room, that could be a possibility, but for now, no.
And second question, Helena?
And the second is there a possibility of using artificial intelligence for some of these tasks to streamline them, or we're not there yet?
I don't think we're there yet. I mean, there's always a possibility, but yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet.
I think some of the tools they're already using, like Collection HQ, will be leveraging artificial intelligence
Yeah,
within it. Absolutely. Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Any other questions from board members? Not seeing any hands? Well, thank you. Yeah. And I would say good luck to the Bruins, right? In the playoffs. Katie's a big Bruins fan. I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan. We're kind of rivals. We're friendly right now, but if you meet in the next round, then things will change, right? So we have a recommended motion just to receive the presentation for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Helena, seconded by Nick. Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Katie. Up next is board member comments. Does any board member have any comments at this time? Quiet bunch this morning. All right, reports from library staff. So we have a few there. First one is monthly update, and Jenny is here to provide the monthly update online.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. I'll just highlight a few key points from the monthly update. We celebrated Freedom to Read Week at the end of February. That was with a very popular showing of the librarians at the museum. It was a joint museum and library collaboration, and it's a great documentary that showed sort of systemic challenges that were taking place throughout the southern U.S. and the librarians that helped to combat that and to really promote that intellectual freedom to read. And we also, the Goderich branch held a Freedom to Read trivia night at, I think it was at Square Brew, or was it East Street Cidery? Katie, you were there.
East Street.
East Street, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. East Street Cidery.
Yeah. And so that was, both of those were very well attended and enjoyed by quite a few people. There was an Indigenous beading workshop, and this was geared primarily towards newcomers. And that was a fantastic collaboration that happened with the local immigration partnership and was held at the Exeter branch. Exeter is also has started up a teen advisory group that is meeting. I don't think in the report it showed that they will be meeting on Wednesdays every month and starting to help inform some of the purchasing that we're doing through McCall McBain and just help to guide some of the programming that is happening, not just at Exeter, but that information gets shared out to all of our branches to kind of help guide some of our focus for teens in our communities. Something that was very popular in February was the Olympic viewings that were happening in 6 of our branches. That was in partnership with the CBC. They provided permission for us to do public showings of that, and that proved to be very, very popular. We had kids coming over after school to catch the third period of hockey games. Uh, in the Exeter branch with Service Canada being there, it was a fantastic waiting room opportunity as they were waiting to get in to talk to somebody. They could watch the game. And the branches had a lot of fun decorating their spaces, providing sort of a living room viewing area. Some of them put up puzzles, and that went over very well. The East team, as Katie mentioned, they've gotten the OGS collection that was originally housed at the log cabin at the museum. That has been moved to Seaforth, and the East team did some training with Deb from the OGS just to help prepare them a little bit more for some of the research inquiries that we receive through the library. And at this time, they're still working out some of the details of what they refer to OGS members versus what branch staff are doing and what might be referred to Michael at the museum as well. So we're starting to figure out the details of how some of those public inquiries are happening. And then finally, as Katie mentioned, we have the microfilm project. As we're going through that project, we do still have requests sometimes for people to use microfilm. And as we are taking those microfilm readers out of some of our branches, getting things organized before it does move to Seaforth, that is a gap that is happening right now. Most people are being patient. It's rare that there's a genealogical emergency that's happening. So most of them seem pretty happy to wait, and if not, we can set up a microfilm reader at our admin office, and then we can potentially do some research for people if there's something that's really critical. And that is it for me.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. That's a good report. Any questions or comments regarding the report? No hands. Okay. Recommend motion is to receive for information. So I have a mover and seconder, please. Moved by John, seconded by Patricia. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Up next is Library Board Legacy Document, question 2. Beth Rumble, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This report just summarizes the responses that I received to that particular question, and then a reminder to respond to question 3. You've got about another week. And then I'll be compiling those responses for the next library board meeting.
Any questions regarding question 2? A question about a question. Alina, please.
Do the responses differ from board to board very much, or?
Tricky to answer. They don't always ask the same questions. So that in itself makes it hard to answer. I haven't actually looked at other library board legacy documents, whether they make them public or if they're just used internally for the transition of the board. It's something I could look into, but I haven't in the past. No.
No, I wouldn't spend a lot of time. More a curiosity question.
Okay, any other questions? Not seeing any. Okay, recommended motion is to receive the report as presented for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Jane, seconded by Sydney. All in favor? Carried. Up next is the library board position description. Beth, please.
Thank you. So this again is something that's been prepared in anticipation of library board transition as a way to kind of assist with recruitment and help set some expectations and to communicate kind of what it means to be a library board member. So open to any feedback on this. The advocacy committee did take a look at it as well. And then we will use it moving forward as we do orientation and those types of things in the fall.
Okay. Any questions for Beth regarding that? Helena?
It's limited to citizens, permanent residents aren't eligible?
Sorry, as far as who's eligible to be on the library board,
Yes,
permanent residents are eligible.
okay. Because we need to change that then, because it
Take a-
says citizen.
Let me double check the legislation. And maybe I just haven't updated that since they changed the act, although that was before the last orientation. I'll double check that though. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Not seeing any hands. Okay. Recommended motion, received a report as presented for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Warden Heffer, seconded by Helena. Okay. All in favor? Carried. Up next is the Goderich fundraising project draft MOU. Beth, please.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. So this was drafted after a discussion between library staff and Tiffany Kittmer, who's the individual looking to spearhead this campaign. So again, this is kind of to help with that role clarity of who's going to do what. And pending library board member approval, we would then start actively providing the information that the library was going to do, such as the vision and that kind of thing. And then Tiffany would then develop some of those promotional materials and start having meetings. Initially, she's identified, I believe, service clubs that she's thinking to speak to.
Okay. Amazing. Appreciate the work being done on this. I think it's going to turn out to be a good thing. And, you know, when it's all said and done, is if there's an opportunity to thank Tiffany for her work, right? And being willing to make the donation herself, but to actually go after other donors as well, right? So I guess we'll get to that point when we get to that point, but I think this is amazing. So any other, John, please. Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I think her project going forward, she's tying in different groups from the community to make the library more a focal point in our communities. And that's important.
Yeah, it is.
Great job she's heading here.
I'm always amazed. I haven't been to every single library in here in county, I'll be honest with you. But when I do go into the Goderich branch, when I'm touring physicians around, we do go in and, any of the staff members that are there are willing to, be part of the tour, provide the information. And the last one we did was with Danielle. And, just the programs that are going on in the libraries, it's incredible. And I know they're doing what they can to promote those programs, but, for us as board members and maybe other people, if we can all do our part to promote it too, because I think there's a lot of people in our communities that are unaware of the programs being offered. Like the arts and craft,
SWAT.
give SWAT.
Yeah.
I was blown away by that. I'm like, what is all this stuff here? And they're going, oh, on Saturday, we're having people come in and it was like lined up at the door, I heard.
Yeah.
Right on a Saturday. So, things like that, I'm going to try to do my part as the chair, but, yeah, I'm just always, astonished by everything that happens in our libraries. So, and I think this is great that we have someone willing to make a contribution on her own, but also go out and share the story of the libraries as well. Right. So, okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, so the motion is that the Huron County Library Board receives the report as presented for information, and further that the Huron County Library Board approve the draft MOU. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Helena, seconded by Patricia. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, item 5 is draft library key performance indicators. Beth, please.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. So this is proposing a new way, essentially, that we report some of our statistics to the library board and kind of the ones that we focus on collecting from branch staff. It means we're being a little bit more intentional about what we're measuring to ensure that it is really tied to our strategic priorities. And then that helps direct staff effort as well. Because what we measure is kind of where they're going to put their focus as well. So to make sure that we are really focusing on what we've set out to prioritize during this particular strategic plan.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Not seeing any hands. Go to the recommended motion that we receive the report as presented for information, and further that the Huron County Library Board approve the implementation of this new tracking method for inclusion in monthly reports. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Sydney, seconded by, I'll go to Nick online. All in favor? Carried. Up next is the 2026 library budget update. Beth, please.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. This is just providing information on the finalized budget for library board member information.
Okay, any questions regarding the report? Not seeing any hands. Okay, recommended motion that we received a report as presented for information. Do I have a mover? Moved by John, seconded by Jane. All in favor? Carried. Up next on the agenda is policy review. There are two items on there. First one is the draft library board advocacy policy. You gotta stop putting that word on that agenda.
Agree.
I did it on purpose. Beth, please. Yeah, say the word 5 times fast.
It's true.
Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Chair. So this is the first time that the board is seeing this policy. It is due for regular review. I think it's timely, given that we are in an election year and looking for new board member recruitment as well. So if there's any feedback or suggestions, it will be coming back at our May meeting for final approval from the library board.
Okay, any questions, comments? Not seeing any hands. Okay, we'll move to the motion. Receives the report and as presented for information, and further that the draft library board advocacy policy be brought to the May board meeting for approval. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Patricia, seconded by Nick. Okay, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, up next is inclusivity, which is another tough one for me. Diversity, equity, and accessibility statement. Wow, that's a mouthful. Beth, please, I'd like Beth to repeat what I just said.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. This policy or statement was first brought forward to the board last month, and some amendments were made based on board member comments. So it's now being brought forward for final approval.
Okay, any questions, comments? All right, moving to the motion that we received a report as presented for information, and further that we approve it as outlined. Do we have a mover? Moved by Sydney, seconded by Helena. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Correspondence, we do have one, and it's the Federation of Ontario Public Libraries. 2026 spring, oh my, there's the word again, advocacy campaign. We're all advocating. There we go. Any questions regarding that? Not seeing any hands. Okay. Recommended motion is that we accept the correspondence, not specifically dealt with, for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Jane, seconded by Helena. All in favor? Carried. Financial statements, there's no financial statements. We don't have closed. And our next meeting is going to be May the 13th, which isn't that far away. 2026 at 9 a.m. And just like that, we're looking to adjourn. Puts his hand up immediately at 9:33 a.m. Do I have a second, or is that Nick online had his hand up probably before Warden Heifer maybe? All right. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. I do have cards. Okay, but they're in my vehicle, so I have to run out and get them. So please, no one leave. If you can just stick around for 5 more minutes, I'll head out there now and grab them.